Hey y'all, it's Iesha Wood. Um, so we are going to jump right in because I'll get emotional if we don't. It is very hard to talk about child welfare and your children, but I decided to do this video because, um, for one, to let a lot of parents know you're not alone, um, and we have to support each other. Furthermore, um, I'm going to do this video in a four-part um, thing here, and part one is investigations. Um, I had a lot of investigations. I had six investigations, all within 1 year. Not one open case. Not one open case out of the six investigations, all within the same year. Okay, they took my kids on number 7. Okay, we're not there yet. I'm very angry. Not there yet. Investigations. So quickly, I'm just going to tell you a few investigations so you get where mentally they took me. Um, Investigation one I can remember: JBR curling iron. He got burnt with a curling iron. He was with his godmom, and she was at home with the kids, and he was not listening, and he was jumping up and down and burnt himself with the curling iron. Um, so I think the school called. Um, so then that had two stories to it. It was first, Zeliana burnt him, my oldest child. She burnt him first. Um, and then it was, he burnt himself with a light bulb. Just a bunch of mess. Okay, so they decided that they were going to, all four of my kids needed physicals and had to go down here to take them to the place to have physicals. They didn't want to let them go to school for a half day and take them at the end of the day. They just, were assured me that all my kids needed physicals at 8:30 in the morning. 8:30 in the morning, no one's there to pick us up. So they get there extra late, like 2 hours late, and we get there to get all four of my kids' physicals, mind you. Okay, we get there to give them physicals. JR says, "I'm hungry." I said, "Oh, are you?" Go up to the counter and tell them that you're hungry. Okay? And I'm pretty sure, tell them to order pizza or something. I'm hungry too. So JR goes to tell them that she's hungry. I'm like, all the kids are hungry. Everybody let's see. Why do they send us home without doing not one physical? Not one. For all you people in Washington that see Zeliana, I love you, Zeliana, sweetheart. Um, why she's not telling you guys what we went through, I don't know, because that is ridiculous. And why she's being disrespectful to me, ridiculous. That's okay, because part 5 is Zeliana's oh so bad life. Not the point. Back to the investigations. So that was the first one that was just retarded. Another investigation. They told me that I couldn't be at my own house. I couldn't be at home with my kids alone. So we had to wait for someone to be able to be in the house with us. So my kids had to go to the library after school, and then come home, which I would not have allowed because of where we lived at. And so I get a phone call from a lady, and she says, "I pulled your son inside of a building." I'm like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah." I asked him what he was doing. He said he was going to see about the fireworks. Um, he was walking towards bullets. It was a shooting at the library in Park Hill. Um, so I hung up with the lady. I quickly made her a card, and I put Tristan's picture in it, with me and his dad at his continuation, in the card. And I said, I thank God for having you in the right spot, for my son at that moment. And she brought him home. And that, no one ever wants to go through that, because my heart dropped to my feet. We're not going to go there, because y'all don't You don't play with people's kids like that. Don't do that. Um, Lord have mercy. Pat on the back for not crying, right? Okay. So, another investigation. I went to the hospital for an allergic reaction. My kids, Ziliana was there, called the ambulance for me because I wouldn't go to the hospital. Like, it was like 24 hours into the allergic reaction, and I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not going until my lips got swelled up and everything. And so the kids called the ambulance. I went to the hospital. How did that result in a CPS investigation? Because it's just me, right? I just went to the hospital in an ambulance, you know? I wake up from the hospital. Um, I'm in a different hospital than I went to, and I'm in the burn unit. I'm like, huh? So I'm like, I don't care. Don't give me no more medicine. I don't want nothing. No, stop it. I want to go home. I can't feel my kids. So I go home and find out that I'm pretty severely burned everywhere. I had burns all over my body, and nobody knows how that happened. Um, how that resulted in a CPS investigation, I have no idea. All I know is that the one who investigated it, Ortho, Ziliana has a funny story about his name. She hated his name. Not the point. But he jumped the gun and told me that it was the hospital social worker that called and made the report, and it was because she said I was like in and out, and I had asked for resources, I think, and so she decided to. So I called the hospital social worker. Like, I know the hell you didn't call and make. Girl, is you great? No. That investigation went away. Gone. Um, they did so many careless investigations, it was not even funny. So again, in Washington, my people, I do not know why Zeliana is telling or not telling you all what we went through, because that year was hell. Um, it, man, traumatic is an understatement. 6 times in 1 year we were investigated. 6 times in 1 year we were investigated. And they took them on number 7. The removal is going to be part 2, so you gotta stay in here with me to get part 2. Behind me, really quick before I go, these are all posters that have went out with me to protest. I know that there was one protest I did on Facebook, but my God, were there so many more after that. I even did a walking protest from 1575 Sherman to 1300 Broadway for 4.5 hours. Shout out to Eric for coming with me with those posters. He was like behind me with the posters as I was walking and protesting. So it was good stuff. I did a lot of protests after that first one. So these are some posters from recent protest. Just to let you know how serious a lot of this stuff is. I think this would be the most shocking to me if I wasn't like involved with it, because parents can go to a foster home with their kids. Who knew that? Nobody, because they don't tell you that. You can go to a foster home with your kids. Did you know that? Okay. So that is part 1. Part 2, removals. You got to stay in here with me. Follow this case, because nothing but illegal things happen to me. I'm still standing. I'm, st- I'm still standing. Okay, I'm still standing. So, okay. But parents, you're not alone. You're not alone. We all, it happens to the best of us. Okay? So follow the case. 2020 JB 792 Denver Child Welfare. And we're going to go over a lot of things that I did during this time, like protesting. Um, I uh, worked with a lot of people, connected with a lot of people. Um, so it's an interesting journey that we're going to go on. But stay with me because I need your support. Because during this, I kind of lost all of my family members. Can you guys find them? I don't know where they are. Mom, this is not. Lord, not you, Mom. Dude, you know, not you, Mom. No, but really, my family literally abandoned me during this time. That is one of the worst feelings that you could ever feel. I can't say too much about it because that's another part of this. Um, but when I say abandon me, I mean, how is someone you don't know going to convince you that I am somebody else than the other person I've been all my life? I have been the same person all of my life. I just grew up. I don't know how they convinced my whole entire family that I'm somebody that they don't know. How are they gonna tell you that I'm somebody that you don't know? All of you guys should be ashamed. Don't care. Do not care. This is one of the worst things in life you could ever go through, is to lose your kids and then have your family turn their back like these people. Y'all made that up. But I love you all. Okay? God is still working on me. Okay, he's doing that. And stay with me, guys. Stay with me. Part 2, removals. It's, oh, notice I said that. Okay, I'm going to end the video because I am going to tell you guys way too much. But notice I said that. Part 2, removals. With an S. Removals. Removals. If they take your kid, shouldn't there only be one? Removals. Part 2.